Welcome to another edition of Monday Night Mashup. I'm Andrea Esselman.
And I'm Hannah Jeffrey, here with your weekend news update. This past Wednesday, the University of South Carolina revealed its new tartan, Old Cocky. The event was hosted by the Department of Retailing here at USC. A portion of the proceeds on tartan sales was used to fund student scholarships. The new tartan was designed by the Scottish Register of Tartans and is officially registered in Scotland. Caroline Riffle, a second-year fashion marketing student major, gave her take on Wednesday's event.
We're the only place that'll ever have this tartan. A class helped pick out what products they would want with the tartan on it, and so we're kind of just presenting all those products and like what the tartan looks like, and we're giving away some stuff, we have some food, we're also selling a bunch of merchandise.
Also on Wednesday, USC's Bisexual, Gay, Lesbian, Straight Alliance group held its 9th annual Birdcage in the Russell House Ballroom. The event was free to USC students and faculty. The Birdcage is the largest non-athletic student event on campus. The event is a drag show that features local drag queens and kings, as well as performers from across the country. The event also included a special performance from the current Miss South Carolina Pride. Kristen Mobley, a senior here at USC, shared the moment that struck her the most.
My favorite moment was probably when Miss Gay Pride did when I was a boy, if I was a boy, and just completely changing outfits, and like as she was scrubbing her face clean, like you could see like it was so vulnerable, like you could see like how genuine the emotions was.
The popular shoe brand Sperry's is on a nationwide tour, and USC was the most recent stop this past weekend. Students crowded Davis Field Thursday afternoon for a day of fun and games, including ping pong, pictures, and cornhole. There was also a giveaway where students could win Sperry's items, including t-shirts, bags, and hats. The event was sponsored by Sperry's and was a way for the brand to raise awareness while also allowing college students to take a break from life and enjoy an afternoon of free fun. The Sperry's Vacationland College Tour ended with a concert featuring the bands Mr. Wives, Vacationer, the Mowglis, and Manchester Orchestra.
I just think it's, it just shows the spirit that we have on school. Students get bogged down with classes and exams and everything, and this is just a great way to come out here, have fun, play with a ball, play ping pong, get some free stuff, and just enjoy life.
That concludes our university news. Hannah Jeffrey will have your local news in a moment. Don't click away.
This is your 90.5 seconds. This is your 90.5 seconds. This is your 90.5 seconds of the news. Today is September 3rd, September 16th, September 25th. It will be mostly cloudy, partly sunny, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 10 a.m. There are over 100 freshmen, over 10%. Only 82, more than 150 people were ejected from Williams-Brice Stadium, South Carolina, celebrating the 50th anniversary of the school's desegregation. A USC student is charged with filing a false police report and false swearing. Tuesday night, the City Council held a meeting to the public to discuss its controversial efforts to deal with Columbia's homeless. Harris Pastides will give his State of the University address tomorrow as he begins his 6th year as university president. The women's soccer team, the men's tennis team, the USC women's golf team, the men's soccer team, the women's equestrian team begins competition today as they take on Kansas State. A new movie is providing audience members with a different perspective of a popular British boy band. Read all about One Direction, This Is Us, as well as all of the full news and sports stories. Find exclusive videos and even more at dailygamecock.com. Jeremy Urso, 90.5 seconds of the news.
Despite the difficulty reaching the event and a rainy Saturday morning, thousands of people attended the 82nd Carolina Cup in Camden, South Carolina. The Carolina Cup, which is seen for some as an unofficial kickoff to the spring season, brings people from across the state to gather at the Springdale Racecourse. The tradition of horse racing at Camden's track goes back more than 80 years, according to WLTX. This race draws in more than 60,000 people each year to see those horses and bet on their winnings. The Carolina Cup is also well known for the appearance of large sun hats, bow ties, and pastel colors. Many college students, including many from the University of South Carolina, enjoy the event and the opportunity to dress up in their spring finest. Also on Saturday afternoon, the 10th annual Bowl for the Kids' Sake took place at AMF Park Lanes in Casey, South Carolina. The event was held to raise money for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Dozens of people in the Midlands area participated, including neighborhoods, the media, and several other organizations. The event raised $55,000 on Saturday, and they are continuing to accept donations from the teams who took part in Bowling Saturday. In other news of the Midlands, a Lexington police officer passed away Saturday. Active duty officer Rish has suffered a long battle with cancer before passing away Saturday morning. According to Lexington Police Department, Rish was an 11-year veteran of the police force who started his career as a road officer in the patrol division. Since then, he was assigned to the Office of Professional Standards in 2007. He became an important figure in preparing for the Lexington Department's first national accreditation by the Communications Assistance for the Law Enforcement Agencies, Incorporated, better known as CALEA. In the year 2010, Rish was promoted to inspector and became a part of the emergency response team for the Lexington Police Department. As of 2013, Art Rish was recognized as the overall Employee of the Year as he held a continuously high work ethic throughout his ongoing health battle. Visitation was held on the evening of Sunday, March 30th at the Bar Price Funeral Home. The funeral took place earlier today at the Red Bank Baptist Church at 11 o'clock. The department notes that, quote, Art was a tremendous asset to the Lexington Police Department and will be truly missed by all who admired him for his unwavering integrity and character no matter the adversity. That concludes our local news. National and nation and world news will be next with Andrea Esselman. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to M&M. This is your National News Report. Last-minute pushes have been made to persuade Americans to enroll in health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. With open enrollment ending tonight at midnight, many are scrambling to avoid the penalty that would be applied to next year's federal income taxes. Health and Human Services announced 2 million visits over the weekend to healthcare.gov, the federal government's enrollment site. In the last week alone, the call center handled a record 2.5 million calls, surpassing last month's entire total. There have been many efforts to encourage those unenrolled to do so, including a visit to Baptist Church by HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius and an interview with Vice President Biden on celebrity chef Rachel Ray's talk show. White House officials, cabinet secretaries, and celebrity surrogates such as Kobe Bryant and Kerry Washington have held more than 300 interviews in the last 6 weeks in order to encourage others to sign up for health care. A mere 24 hours after obesity surgery, Texas 12-year-old Alexis Shapiro has shown no sign of type 2 diabetes. Shapiro has a rare condition that caused her to gain at least 2 pounds a week in addition to feeling starved constantly after damage to her hypothalamus during a brain surgery 2 years ago. The 12-year-old has been taken off of insulin and will be headed home from Cincinnati Children's Hospital Medical Center on Friday. The surgery she underwent left no more than 25% of her stomach intact. Shapiro is currently on a soft diet of protein drinks, yogurts, and puddings, consumed at roughly 5 teaspoons at a time. Doctors won't know how much weight she has already dropped for another week, but she is predicted to drop about 40 pounds in the next few months. In other news, another day of rain yesterday continued to slow down the dig through mud and debris in what was once a neighborhood in Oso, Washington. On the bright side, the number of missing has officially been cut down to 30 from the previous guess of more than 170 death tolls. However, death tolls have risen to 18, with 9 additional bodies awaiting identification from the Snohomish County Medical Examiner's Office. In addition to the first responders, National Guard troops, search and rescue workers, and military helicopters, many volunteers have aided in the efforts to find those still missing and to move debris. Tina Ray and her pastor husband have a chapel where they're providing a place for victims and family members to come pray in the community. All survivors have been doing well, including the youngest survivor, a 5-month-old baby boy. An 86-year-old man shot his grandson in the head, killed his grandson's girlfriend, and then took his own life. The shooter had believed the couple was taking advantage of his daughter and living in her home. Heriberto Pagan shot Feliciano and his girlfriend inside the house before getting into his car, driving a few blocks, and turning the gun on himself. Pagan was found lying outside his car with a bullet wound in his head. The grandson's 4-month-old son was found unharmed inside the house after the shooting and is now in City Administration for Children's Services custody. Moving on to world news, Paris has seen some changes in their government. Anne Hidalgo became Paris's first female mayor, representing the socialists and having defeated Natalie Kosciusko-Morizet, the conservative right candidate. In her victory speech, Hidalgo said that she was aware of the challenge of being the first woman mayor of Paris. Even with the victory, Morizet, the right candidate, won 10 towns with a plan to plant local leadership. Local leadership was seen as a referendum on unpopular President François Hollande. The socialists' poor results left no doubt that the government would soon be reshuffled. The search for Malaysian jetliner continues, but it has become an extraordinarily difficult task. An international force of 10 aircrafts and 10 ships headed back into the search area today off the Perth in the Indian Ocean. The search was forced to take a step back after debris pulled from an area on Saturday turned out to be fishing gear that was unrelated to the Flight 370. On Sunday, almost 100 square miles were searched in relatively clear weather. Also on Sunday, more than 24 of the flight victims' family members arrived in Kuala Lumpur and held a protest at a hotel. The protesters had signs that read, quote, "We want evidence, truth, dignity," in Chinese, and, quote, "Hand us the murderer, tell us the truth, give us our relatives back," in English. The relatives designated Representative Jiang Hui said they wanted an apology from the Malaysian government for what they see as a misstep in the initial handling of the disaster. In addition, family members were upset with Prime Minister Razak's statement indicating that the plane had no survivors. The relatives felt the conclusion was announced without sufficient evidence. While the debris and passengers are searched for, the cause of the crash is still unclear. Police have reported to have interviewed more than 100 people, including families of both the pilot and co-pilot. That concludes our national and world news. Corey Drennan will have your look at the weather after this.
back to M&M. I'm Corey Jernan with your local weather. So the classic Columbia weather was back today with temperatures in the high 70s. I hope you guys all enjoyed that one. But tonight it's going to be a little bit chillier with temperatures in the low 40s. So if you're going to go to a late night study session at Thomas Cooper, make sure you put a jacket in your book bag. As far as weather for the rest of the week, it's going to be kind of similar. We're going to have temperatures in the mid 70s to mid 80s, and the lows are going to be anywhere from the mid 40s to mid 50s. So that's going to be nice. But because it is Columbia, Mother Nature has to quite literally rain on our parade with a chance of thunderstorms on Friday. But the good news is that it's only 30%, and as of right now, that's the only rain we're going to be expecting this week, so that's always nice. Moving on to national weather, most of the country we're looking at is going to be anywhere from the 60s to the 80s, except for the northern parts are going to be anywhere from like the 20s to the 50s. In the northeast, we're looking at dry weather, and the south is going to be the same with dry, a few scattered thunderstorms. The Midwest is going to be the most severe weather this week with snow and windstorms in Minnesota and some severe thunderstorms in eastern Kansas. In the western part of the country, it's going to be kind of like a mix. There are fire dangers, but there's also more snowstorms. Also, in the west on California, on Friday, Los Angeles experienced an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.1. Several aftershocks rattled the surrounding areas over the weekend, but that magnitude was around 4.1. After assessing the affected areas, police and local fire departments found that there are no damages or significant injuries, which is always good news to hear. But that's also more normal with earthquakes with a magnitude of less than 5.5, but you have to remember that the results vary by region. And that's going to be it for your weather update for this week, but that is not the end of Monday Night Mashup. Deanie Garrison will have a look at your sports report after this break.
This is your 90.5 seconds. This is your 90.5 seconds. This is your 90.5 seconds of the news. Today is September 3rd, September 16th, September 25th. It will be mostly cloudy, partly sunny, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 10 a.m. There are over 100 freshmen, over 10%. Only 82, more than 150 people were ejected from Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the school's desegregation. A USC student is charged with filing a false police report and false swearing. Tuesday night, the City Council held a meeting to the public to discuss its controversial efforts to deal with Columbia's homeless. Harris Pastides will give his State of the University address tomorrow as he begins his 6th year as university president. The women's soccer team, the men's tennis team, the USC women's golf team, the men's soccer team, the women's equestrian team begins competition today as they take on Kansas State. A new movie is providing audience members with a different perspective of a popular British boy band. Read all about One Direction, This Is Us, as well as all of the full news and sports stories. Find exclusive videos and even more at dailygamecock.com. Jeremy Urso, 90.5 seconds of the news.
Welcome back to Monday Night Mashup on SGTV Campus Channel 4. My name is Danny Garrison, and this is your weekly sports report. Before diving into your South Carolina sports report, we have your March Madness update as teams are heading into the semifinals. 2 SEC teams will advance to the Final Four in this year's NCAA tournament. The Florida Gators will face UConn, and the Kentucky Wildcats will take on Wisconsin in the semifinal matchups. Many Gamecock fans are cheering for Kentucky to do well in the tournament due to the fact that the South Carolina men's basketball team defeated the Wildcats at Colonial Life Arena earlier this season. On the other side of the bracket, the Florida Gators matchup with UConn will be a rematch of a December contest, the last time Florida lost this season. Since playing UConn, the Gators have been undefeated. The women's basketball team put up a good fight in the women's NCAA tournament, but their season is over after losing to the North Carolina Tar Heels last night. In the Battle of the Carolinas, the final score was 65-58, with the Gamecocks' late comeback just coming up short. With the basketball season wrapping up, the sports world will be turning its attention to the Diamond. Last night was opening night for Major League Baseball, and today marked the start of the season for all MLB teams. College baseball, however, has been underway for over a month now, and the Gamecocks are rolling. Number 2 ranked South Carolina swept this weekend's series against Tennessee. On Saturday, the Gamecocks treated the fans at Carolina Stadium to not 1, but 2 walk-off home runs. After a slow start to the game, 2 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning set up a walk-off grand slam from Grayson Griner. To round things off, SportsCenter featured Griner and the Gamecocks as the top play for the day for his heroic Saturday night. On Sunday, the Gamecocks defeated the Vols 8-0 to complete the sweep. This improves the Gamecocks' record to 24-3 overall. The boys will be back in action on Tuesday facing Appalachian State at 7 p.m. We now move from baseball to softball, where the Lady Gamecocks swept the Ole Miss Rebels with a 7-6 win on Sunday afternoon at Beckham Field. This is the first SEC weekend sweep at home for the Gamecocks since 2011, also the first against the Rebels. The ladies will host a doubleheader on Tuesday facing College of Charleston Southern at 4:30 and Presbyterian at 7 p.m. here in Columbia. The women's tennis team also had a victorious week, defeating LSU 4-1 on Friday and Arkansas 4-0 on Sunday. This improves the ladies to 12-8 overall this season. Next week, the women's tennis team will be on the road in Mississippi, taking on the Ole Miss Rebels on Friday and Mississippi State on Sunday. Although the men's tennis team faced a tough loss at LSU on Friday, they came back strong on Sunday, defeating Arkansas 4-0. South Carolina won 4 of the first 6 sets in singles and took just over 3 hours to finish the matches. Unlike the ladies, the men's tennis team will face 2 Mississippi teams at home, with Ole Miss on Friday and Mississippi State on Sunday. The women's golf team took second place at the Bryan National Collegiate this weekend. The ladies played through consistent 20 to 30 mile per hour winds with some gusts over 40 miles per hour. This marks the Gamecocks' 6th consecutive top 5 finish this season. Duke won the tournament and Wake Forest came in third, only 2 strokes behind South Carolina. The Gamecocks will return to action April 4th through the 6th as they travel to Tempe, Arizona for the Ping ASU Invitational. The sand volleyball team traveled to Tallahassee, Florida over the weekend, where they lost to Florida State, LSU, and Jacksonville. The Gamecocks will have a chance to redeem themselves on April 5th as they take on Florida State Seminoles in Charleston, South Carolina. The sand volleyball team will also face College of Charleston and Georgia State this weekend. We will be wrapping up this report with news of another SEC championship for the Gamecocks, as the equestrian team took the conference crown over the weekend. On Saturday, the number 1 ranked Lady Gamecocks faced the number 2 ranked Georgia Bulldogs in Blythewood. The final score was 10-10, with the Gamecocks beating the Bulldogs in a tiebreaker, winning the first back-to-back SEC championships in the program's history. The ladies will now prepare for the NCEA National Championships, which will be held in Waco, Texas, from April 17th to the 19th. That's all we have for you in your Gamecock Sports Update this week. Don't click away. Stay tuned for more Monday Night Mashup.
This is your 90.5 seconds. This is your 90.5 seconds. This is your 90.5 seconds of the news. Today is September 3rd, September 16th, September 25th. It will be mostly cloudy, partly sunny, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 10 a.m. There are over 100 freshmen, over 10%. Only 82, more than 150 people were ejected from Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the school's desegregation. A USC student is charged with filing a false police report and false swearing. Tuesday night, the City Council held a meeting to the public to discuss its controversial efforts to deal with Columbia's homeless. Harris Pastides will give his State of the University address tomorrow as he begins his 6th year as university president. The women's soccer team, the men's tennis team, the USC women's golf team, the men's soccer team, the women's equestrian team begins competition today as they take on Kansas State. A new movie is providing audience members with a different perspective of a popular British boy band. Read all about One Direction, This Is Us, as well as all of the full news and sports stories. Find exclusive videos and even more at dailygamecock.com. Jeremy Urso, 90.5 seconds of the news.
So, everyone enjoying the weather, this warm weather coming up this week?
So much.
I actually took a picnic blanket and read a book out on the horseshoe. Someone nailed me with a frisbee, but they were like, "I'm so sorry," but I was like, "It's okay, you're all good." So,
Oh man,
that was
That's unfortunate.
I'm hoping that's it for the cold.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the warm weather now and stuff.
yeah.
summer with the beach.
Almost.
Thanks for watching this edition of Monday Night Mashup. Be sure to follow our coverage throughout the week on our website and follow us on Twitter